Last time on Adventures with the Goddess. They're gone. Just checking in. It is 2:52. We're a little bit over halfway across the channel right now. Got 14 knots of true wind, and the seas are probably 4 to 6 feet. And we are making 6 3/4 knot, 6.5 knots is what we're doing. I am more motor sailing so that I can sail higher into the wind, have a little bit higher apparent wind. We got the sails reefed up there. I got the Genoa knot fully furled, depowering the rig just so that I can manage this wind on my own a little bit better. But we're making good time. Right now, I'm probably going to have to tack twice, and we should be in two harbors before dark. Looking forward to it. So, update, it is 4:40 on November 16th, 2024. Just made it to the mainland side of Catalina. I'm about 5 miles east of Isthmus Cove, two harbors where I wanted to be due to wind, but that was the best course I could get to get over the island. And now then I am traveling along the coastline to avoid all of the swell and the bigger wind. About time to bring down my sails. They're kind of flogging a little bit, and hopefully within an hour or so I'm going to have myself dinner on the ball. That's it. Good morning. It is Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. I am at Isthmus Harbor on sailing vessel Isis. I came in last night at about 5:30. The seas were really were worse than they were predicted, and so were the winds. But that is being on the ocean. I wound up having mechanical issues, and the sea state made me pretty seasick, and so having mechanical issues and rough seas aren't nice while you're seasick. So anyway, it was a rough landing. I wound up being 5 miles east of Isthmus, so I had to hug the coast, and while I was coming along, that's when I found my mechanical problems, which the boat would not, the RPMs would not come down to an idle. They stayed up at about 2,000 RPMs, which is a little bit too high to be able to maneuver in the mooring field. So I had to get help from Harbor Patrol to get me on a ball over at 4th of July Cove that didn't have any boats over there, so that way, you know, I had room to, you know, move around in case I drifted while the boat was shut down. Because for me to get on the hook, I had to, you know, cut the engine way early because it wouldn't idle, and just drift up to it and time it. It took us about 3 times for me to get on the ball. It was really unprotected and really rolly, which made things just 10 times harder. And then I was hoping to get to feeling better and get rid of the seasickness, but because it was unprotected, I just kept getting more and more seasick. I wound up eventually just fighting through it and readjusting the idle screw and messing with the throttle cable. I'm still not exactly for sure what the issue is. I'm going to figure that out once I'm in a calm anchorage over in Cat Harbor. And so anyhow, about 10 o'clock last night, I did wind up going to getting the idle down to where I could make it into the mooring field, and made it over into Isthmus, where I had a protected mooring ball, which was calm enough that I could at least, you know, eat something and then finally get some rest. So now then, we're about to fire up the engine and head back to Cat Harbor. All right, here we go. No issues dropping the line. Now then, we just make our way through the mooring field. Oh, so it looks like I broke a belt, or the belt, which means that the engine stopped cooling and overheated. I'm currently waiting on the steam to go. I'm floating in 250 foot of water. I don't seem to be getting any closer to the shore, but I've got to get this fixed and get somewhere. This is just not going well. I'm sorry I didn't get video of this part. I wound up getting seasick a second time trying to replace the belt. It seems my high temperature horn failed and it did not sound when the engine overheated. Luckily, I knew exactly where I kept the spare belt and coolant on the boat. After letting the engine cool some, I replaced the belt. However, it was about a ½ inch too small, so it did not go on without a fight. It took me just over an hour to replace the belt and let the engine cool enough that I could open the coolant tank to replace the lost coolant. Luckily, I barely moved for that hour while I floated about 500 yards off the shore. I have a 3-strike safety rule I learned while flying airplanes. With the throttle issues, belt breaking, broken horn, and now no spare belt or coolant, I decided to cancel the rest of my trip and head back to the mainland and play it safe. When solo sailing, it is best not to take unnecessary chances. I put up the main, and the trip back to LA Harbor had no issues. Ultimately, I believe the throttle issues were caused by a lock nut on the idle screw vibrating loose. The belt failed from lack of running the engine over the last year while I was out on other adventures abroad. All of the issues were corrected once I returned to the mainland and recovered. In life and in sailing, not everything goes to plan. The key is to stay calm and focused, then adjust the plan and change course. In 24 hours, I was in not one but two pretty dangerous situations. I got seasick twice in that time, which rarely happens for me. I could have gave up. I could have called the Coast Guard for help, but that isn't the way of a solo sailor. I didn't get the week on the island I'd been dreaming about for over a year. That will have to wait just a little while longer. But I walked away safe, knowing I can handle what comes my way. Don't be afraid to forge your own adventures, and just remember, not all who wander are lost.